Hello, we're back again, and this is the Horror with Marchese and Buller show. That's sort of a new a new intro. I'm just messing with until I get something more original. Um, Today we have Renee Miller on. She has a book coming out on July 13th called Eat the Rich with Hindered Souls Press. She also has other books like Cats Like Cream, and she will be talking with us today. Renee?
Hi.
And we also have our other host, Gary Buller.
Hello.
So let's jump right into it. What's going on today with everyone? I heard it's like really hot and everywhere.
Yes, yes. Stupid hot.
So you've been working this morning, Renee?
Yes.
What
Very
did you do?
exciting. Everyone's very happy to be. They're so miserable today.
I know. I made the mistake of mowing my lawn. I only got like a quarter of it done, and I said, "Screw this." My face and arms are still burning.
I pay this old fella to come around and do mine. That's how lazy I am.
Oh man.
It's just a guy who lives on the estate, and he does everybody's lawn. Who pays him, and he'll just come round and for like, I think it's like the equivalent of about $15. He'll do the front and back lawn, and he's got one of these petrol lawn mowers, and he'll just run up and down. He does it in about 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm happy to let him sort of do that, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I like to keep. I say if I don't do that, it's gonna be like I look at it as getting exercise.
Yeah.
If I didn't
Do
do
you mow
that,
your
then
lawn, Renee?
yeah.
I just pretend like I don't see it until Kurt cuts it.
Oh gosh, who sort of does the lawn in your? Or you just literally just leave it?
I just leave it now. I figure I take out the garbage and do everything else. He can cut the grass.
Yeah.
He
This
doesn't
is a
mind.
book.
He likes it.
I was going to say this is a literary podcast, not gardening, but we often go we often go off on these little mad tangents.
Yeah.
Normally,
Well, to try
Is it-
waiting to see if people come on, but I was gonna say before I was trying to cram in real fast one of your books, the Cats Like Cream.
Yep.
It's like a shorter. It's like a novella sort of, right? It's not really a full length.
Yeah. Yeah. More like a novelette.
Yeah, I was saying I was reading it and I got to like 70% through. I think this won't ruin it for anybody. He was talking to the cop.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was just some thoughts is like it felt like a Dean. So I mean I really like Dean Koontz. I used to always love his stories where he had these killers that had these intricate little like things that they did and everything. And
Yep.
it kind of reminded me of like a Dean Koontz killer mixed with a Thomas Harris's Red Dragon character.
Yeah.
And I also got a
Actually,
little,
two that I read a lot are those two. So
and also like maybe a hint of American Psycho.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I was actually looking before it through some of Renee's sort of books, and I wasn't surprised to see you're mega prolific. It's unbelievable. There was just so many books out there, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully. It's like
Yeah,
you
especially
know,
with a day job and everything. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did take time. There was a year or two in between that I wasn't working, and then I wrote full time.
oh okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that got written in that time too.
Then it was just a matter of like editing and making it smooth, or were they totally finished stories during that time?
No, some of them are still in the editing process.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are pretty rough.
Well, at least you have them though. I mean, you have the framework,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Did you think you did your better work while you weren't working, just out of interest, or does it not really matter? The not working versus working thing. Does it make a difference to the end product?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. When I have more time to devote to it, like you get time to do the outline, you get time to fuss around with everything, and
Mhm.
when you're working, it's kind of like, well, you guys know, you just cram everything into when you can do it.
Mm.
So Yeah, I guess it just takes longer now. I don't know that the quality is that much different. I guess it just takes longer.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, it takes, and then when you come home, you're so tired. You know, you don't want to think about. It's to go into these worlds. Like sometimes I have, like my wife will say, "Oh, can't you just grab like half an hour to write? You have time right now." And I'm like, "Oh man, like, to get into
Yeah,
that."
it's not enough.
Yeah, or like just to get into it, like sometimes you have to sit there for a few minutes, or like maybe a half an hour, or even an hour, and then you start getting into that mood. But if you don't have that time, sometimes you can go right into it if you were just waiting, you know. But it's hard.
Yeah, if you have an idea that's kind of in progress, it's a little different. But
Wow. So I mean,
go ahead.
I'm quite interested. Oh, sorry, I was just going to say I'm quite interested to know how and sort of when you started out on your sort of the writing journey and sort of how it's gone for you.
Like writing seriously, because I've always
writing to publish, writing to submit, and stuff like that.
It was about when my youngest was little. She had some health problems, so we decided that I would stay home for a few years.
Right.
I started the writing when I decided, I'll just start a daycare. I needed an outlet. So we had an old desktop, so I wrote everything by hand those first couple of years.
Right.
And then I would transfer it to the computer when I had the time.
Yeah.
That's when
Before that, did you have like did you want to become a writer? Like, did you read a lot and say, geez, I want to do this, or?
Oh yeah, and I always wrote little like short stories, little this and that. But it was just for me.
Yeah.
I never ever considered that I was even close to good enough to even try it.
So what was the turning point then? At what point did you go, right, I'm gonna submit this out to to publications and see how far I can get with it?
Well, we got internet.
Oh, brilliant. It helps.
That's important.
Start. And I joined Goodreads, and there was a writing group on there. And after some feedback from that, it kind of just went from there.
I heard Goodreads is like they're becoming terrible with making you pay for free things, like to do the giveaways and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't really been active in Goodreads in a long, long time. It started really going. I mean, it's still useful, but yeah, it's paying for this, paying for that now, and I don't know. I don't find it very useful, like for me personally anymore. Like for I guess marketing, having your books up there, and I get lots of reviews there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, I also thought it was creepy that usually when you're advertising on Twitter, it's a lot of it is to peers. And when you do get those, readers, like that's fine. They're going to tell you honestly what they think. But if you know that your fellow writers, thought like 3 stars, and then you're like, why do they give me a 3-star, and then it gets a little like
they're brutal on Goodreads.
Yeah, I've heard that. And then sometimes people then you get the ones that are just they want to kiss ass and they want to just give you 5 stars and then thinking you're going to do the same for them, and then you read theirs.
Like little jerk that Eddie talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think I prefer a genuine 2-star review than a bullshit 5-star one.
Yeah.
It's at least someone's at least if they're slagging you off, it's like they care in some sort of respects, rather than just like, oh yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. I didn't really read it, but here's 5 stars.
Yeah, and sometimes with those 2 and 1-star reviews, you can tell if someone's like fluffing themselves up with fake reviewers because they're usually most honest, and then you can just like compare it to what the other reviewers will say if they actually go deeper into their review, or if they just say, oh, this was great, I recommend it. Well, then a 5-star review doesn't really mean too much.
Yeah, as a reader, I'm more curious about books that have kind of a whole range of reviews. So
yeah,
if they've just got all 4 and 5 stars, I'm always skeptical.
Yeah. What sort of stuff do you generally read, Renee?
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, all genres, all types.
Yeah, I think the only thing, like hard sci-fi, I have a hard, like I just.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough.
Well, good. I think good sci-fi would do the work for you, so you could see everything. Because, I mean, if you have to, I guess there is a I guess a platform out there for hardcore sci-fi where you just know the whole world and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, the ones that get like I guess it's not all hard sci-fi. It's the ones like I get reading it and it's like it's just a lot of technical stuff, and I just want the story. That's just the kind of reader I am. So I don't need everything. I don't like to have everything explained, but I need everything explained to read that. So it's kind of I don't really enjoy reading it.
Sort of like the Tommyknockers, which was like a sci-fi, but it was also horror. But you got it's just story pretty much. I mean, he did explain stuff, but it wasn't like, going into hardcore. What was the other one with Will Smith? There was a movie.
I Am Legend.
Yeah.
No, the sci-fi one where the spaceships came down.
Men in Black?
No. Well, it was that one too. Independence Day.
Yeah.
And that one, the first one was cool because they were explaining it. So you were finding stuff out, you were exploring and learning. But then the second one, I was watching it, and I fell asleep halfway through it, and I said, "This is like Star Wars, but like extreme." It wasn't Independence Day anymore. I mean, first off, they didn't have Will Smith from the first one. He didn't want to do it or something. He was doing another movie.
Yeah, I didn't watch the second one.
Yeah, it was just hardcore. Like, it was what you would call hardcore science fiction. But then movies like Alien, like those are more action, and you just, it's sort of I guess the setting is the background, and you see the setting, you know what's going on, and you just,
Yeah, that's what I like. Don't make me think too much.
Well, you want to be entertained, Who are your inspirations, and who are your literary heroes? Besides me and Gary.
You don't have to say me. It's okay. I'm modest.
I didn't want to have to make it awkward,
Well, this is what I thought,
Gary's the wind beneath my wings.
I'm full of wind, all right.
Stephen King, obviously. I mean, I read when I was younger, I read everything I could find of his. It was all Stephen King all the time at one point.
Yeah.
But Margaret Atwood, John Irving, Dean Koontz, Harris. It's a really long list.
Have you been watching we discussed this the other week with Gemma Moore. Have you been watching The Handmaid's Tale, the TV series?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah, I really like it too.
Yeah, I didn't think, you're always disappointed when they adapt a book to film, like especially when it's a book you really, really like.
Yeah.
I was really concerned about how that would go, but so far I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm right up to date with it. How many episodes are there going to be in this new series? I think I'm up to like 10 or something. Maybe, is it 11?
Yeah, I don't know. How many? Wasn't there like 12 or 13 in the first one?
I think so. Yeah. I'm just not sure how they take it, because I thought the last one was going to be the last one. And then my other half pointed out, actually, there's some more coming on. And I was like, all right, okay. I thought I ended on a cliffhanger. When she was left out in the wilderness at the house. No spoilers there, but...
Yeah, I haven't caught up yet.
Oh, sugar.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I watch it on Crave TV, which is like Canadian Netflix, kind of. So I wait till there's a few episodes piled up so I can binge it on a day off or something.
Excellent.
Who's that? What channel is that? Is that AMC?
I don't know. I don't watch television.
I think in the States it's Hulu. I think it is. Does it?
Okay. Yeah, I saw commercials for it, and I heard it was really good, but I haven't got to look at it yet.
Yeah. So I've got to say, Renee, the first time I sort of came across your work was in a magazine called Deadlights.
Yeah.
And you had a story in there called, is it Where There Is Life?
Yeah.
All right. And I remember reading it on a train up to Scotland, and since then we've spoken to David Wilson, who was the editor there, and I was sort of fanning out a bit, saying it's such a good story. So I'm just kind of interested of sort of the inspiration behind it, and the process you went through to actually get into Deadlights, and you know what sort of happened with that story. Because I really liked it. I thought it was the best one in my opinion, it was the best one in the anthology.
Oh, thank you. You're going to be disappointed because I just kind of wrote that one.
Oh, did you just like? Oh, yeah.
I just sat down and wrote it. Yeah, there was no pre-planning or anything with that one. I just kind of got lucky.
Yeah, sometimes they come out like that. No, it's true. I've had a few like that too. And they're usually the best ones.
Yeah. I was surprised with how well it turned out. And then like submitting to Deadlights, when I was happy with the editing, like where it was at, I just searched for places taking submissions, and I found Deadlights. And
yeah.
Actually,
Sorry, go on.
No, I think actually I think Christian Saunders shared the link with me at one. I think that's how I found it.
Right. So obviously, there's only one issue, but he's coming back and he's doing an anthology this year, and he's bringing back the Shotgun magazine as well. So I think he's starting up again, and because of it, I've sort of pulled out the issue 1, and I've had a look at it, semi-recently, and it was such a good magazine. It's such a shame it sort of ended at number 1 because he had big plans for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed your story. I thought it was fantastic, and it's sort of, and then having sort of seen that story, that's how I know you've been so prolific, because I've sort of seen your name, and you sort of recognise someone. Oh yeah, I've read that person's story. I really enjoyed it, and then you look in other publications, because like your resume is amazing. You've been in Unnerving, you've been in Broadswords and Blasters as well. Is that a recent one you've been in?
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. Oh goodness, I think you were in that Splish Splash taking a bloodbath as well, weren't you?
Yep.
Another Unnerving one.
Yeah.
Now, was that separate stories, or was that?
And then we've got this latest. Sorry, say again, Will.
No, for Splish Splash taking a bloodbath, was that separate stories, or was that one? Like, was that just the 3 authors?
It's separate stories. There's one at the that we all wrote together.
Yeah.
But then there's several by each of us.
Okay, yeah, because I was looking at the chapters, because I had downloaded it last night, and I was a bit confused because it was like a whole bunch of chapters, so I didn't know who wrote what. So I figured I would just check out Cats Like Cream, because it was shorter, and I wanted to have something to go off of, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, we all just did. We contributed like just a certain number of, like, basically like a certain word count, like approximate stories, and then we wrote one together. That was interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. I've seen the artwork for that like everywhere. I mean, Eddie's done a really good job of promoting that. I think it's everywhere I look, I see that cover. But I'm really pleased that you got Eat the Rich with Hindered Souls Press, because they produce it as an audio book. Am I right? Are they going to put it on audio?
Yeah.
Which I'm really looking forward to, because that's going to be like an insta buy for me, because I absolutely love Audible, and it's how I consume most of my books. So yeah, I'll definitely be all over that when it comes out. Do we know if the audiobook's coming the same day as the paperback, or is it going to be a little wait?
I'm not sure. It might be a little bit later, because I know we just recently decided on a narrator, so I haven't
cool.
heard anything since then, so I'm not sure.
Cool.
It probably will be a little bit later.
We actually have Hindered Souls Press. He asked a question in the chat room. Manuel, he says, how hard is it to be a stereotypical... Sorry, I think I had like a freaking too much heat.
We know what you mean.
How hard is it to be a stereotypical super polite Canadian and super fucking crazy when you write? Is it a double life type of deal?
No, I'm like that pretty much all the time. Like, anyone who knows me well isn't surprised with what I write.
To be honest with you, like I heard things, like, and I've heard things. I've heard you say, things about, But when I was reading, and I don't know if this was one of the more crazier stories, but as I was reading Cats Like Cream, it didn't spark me as like it went, it used those subjects. It used, like you know shitting
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and it was, but it didn't say it, and like it didn't say it like, oh look,
It
this is,
wasn't like vulgar.
yeah, it was like, this is what a crazy person would think about and would do. So that's what made it more authentic and more real, I feel. I mean, and with writing, you have to do that. It's like, if you
Yep.
don't do that, the reader's going to pick up on that super fast.
Yeah, you have to be tactful about it. Maybe that's the Canadian in me. I'm good at being tactful.
Oh, did you use the word balloon knot?
Balloon?
Balloon knot for an anus.
No.
So you
No,
you
sorry, I
really
didn't
need
use
to,
that one.
because it's one of my favorites.
It gets the vision in there.
I just call it an anus because I'm a grown up.
Yeah.
She got you, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh man. So Hindered Souls, they just said soon after the print Kindle release, the audiobook will be released. So it should be shortly after that. So it's July 13th, I believe it was, right?
Yep.
Did you pick the 13th for any reason, or was it just
I didn't pick the date. I think he probably picked it because it was Friday the 13th, isn't it?
wait, that might be. Let me
Or maybe he didn't know.
It is. It is. Wow.
It is.
Yeah. No, it probably it has to be deliberate. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's I used to like, I don't know if you guys remember, you guys saw the movie.
Yeah.
It always came out
Yeah.
on Halloween.
Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
to love that.
I always used to go see that Halloween weekend. Yeah, like without fail.
All right.
We
So
bought the DVD. Do you remember the first case with the mask is the cover of the case?
wait, with
With Saw?
yeah, with Danny Glover.
Yeah, my kids used to hide the case all over the house because they didn't want to look at it.
Oh my god.
So we would just like take it out and put it in random spots, and yeah, we're horrible parents.
Oh man, that's you got to do that though. You got to get them into it,
Yeah, I don't think any one of my kids like watching horror movies.
Oh no, my daughter likes the zombies, but she doesn't. So she's scared of Walking Dead, but she can watch Return of the Living Dead. And I told her, I said, this is much worse.
Yeah,
But she, for some reason, she can watch Return of the Living Dead, but when she hears those zombies, how they make that noise in Walking Dead, she just says, "Oh, you watching it?" Oh, she starts like going into another room or something.
my daughter can watch The Walking Dead, but she doesn't really like horror movies, so who knows?
What do your kids think of you being a writer, and does it inspire your kids?
Both of my daughters actually write. They both, I think I posted about this on Facebook earlier. They both actually got the writing and literature award at their little grade 8 graduations.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good for not really, like, they don't want my input at all.
Go away, Mom.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Yeah, you can read it, but don't tell me what you think about it.
Oh wow, that's weird. It reminds me of, what's that guy? Gene Simmons. I used to watch a couple of his shows when he was doing like the kind of reality-based TV show, and
The Kiss guy.
yeah, and his kid was like in a band, and you would think that he'd be going to his father because he was like in Kiss, but he never. It's like, I would be like, Dad, can you teach me a few things? Damn it. I don't know. I mean,
tried to help Kennedy, my youngest. I tried to help her once. It was like grade 4. They had to do a short story. Now in grade 4, a short story is like 200 words. Like, they didn't want it to be long.
yeah.
This turned into like a 2 or 3 month long thing where she had an outline and she had characters.
Oh wow.
The teacher finally just gave her the mark because he was like, obviously she knows what she's doing. I'm never going to get this story.
That's great
So-
though. Yeah, that's great that that they like it.
Yeah. They don't read my stuff, mind you.
No.
my oldest could. I mean, she's 19, almost 20. She could read it, but she chooses not to.
Yeah, yeah.
I should told you why.
She doesn't want to read that stuff, knowing that I've written it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a little bit awkward for me. I sometimes think this, when I'm writing something. When I'm older, obviously, at some point my daughter might read some of the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I squirm a little bit sometimes with...
I mean, there's no need for them to read it at all.
Right.
But, yeah, it's awkward for them. I guess it would be. I mean, if my mom wrote some of the stuff that I write, I wouldn't want to read it either.
No.
No.
So... you throw me there. So, of all the submissions you've had sort of sent out and stuff, what's been your biggest sort of achievement? Which one are you most proud of?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know which one I would. Like,
is it like choosing between children?
Oh, you asked me which is my favorite child?
No. I said, is it like choosing between your children, picking your favorite story out there, or your favorite novel or novella?
Changes each day, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that I really have a top favorite.
No,
like achievement, but what about story? Like any story that you're really like you still feel like you can go back to, or you feel like sort of like when somebody reads Harry Potter, they feel like they're going back to a whole family and a world that they just want to keep going to.
Yeah, In the Bones was the first book. I published it myself. It was sort of my dive into all of this. That one, I think I'd always be proud of that one, no matter what. But the characters in it are based on like where I live, people around here. Anyone who's read it that lives in Tweed can identify most of the characters in there.
Yeah.
And probably the Mad with the Milo Smalls. That one I could probably go back to and write on. I could keep writing with that character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you said something about the neighborhood, like they would know, like that's why I don't like posting on. I don't post on my personal Facebook because I don't want like the family to kind of. I want it where I'm sort of situated in in a place where then I can show it like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just like you said. Then they'll start trying to pick it apart and say, "Oh, is this based on this one?" Or do you have these thoughts? Is this what you're thinking? And I'm like, "Oh my God, here we go."
Well, see, like I said, no one's surprised about like, so it's not really an issue for me.
Yeah.
Like if they're like, "Is that what?" I don't even think they would ask me, "Is that what you really think about?" Because they pretty much knew it to begin with.
Oh God! What must you be like in reality, Renee?
Well, actually, let me just get this ready here. That was the next question. What inspires you to create these stories, and do you ever feel like you're close to the character's thoughts, like the killer? Like when you're creating these scenes, do you feel like one tiny little step and you can do this stuff?
And I could be a serial killer?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, after today, working a holiday weekend.
Oh, man.
I came very close several times today. No. The inspiration comes from different places. Like, I get a lot of people that suggest ideas to me, and then I'll tweak those ideas if they sound interesting. And as far as the character, I don't know. The character comes first most of the time for me. Like I try to get inside that, and so I do think like them, but I don't know that that's necessarily my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, they always say that deep down inside, it's like you get these writers, and I guess there's some degree you have to get down to that level, but looking up and studying like like how people think and how close we are to like just being on that there was I think it was surprise surprise Stephen King had made a post about something. I think it was an article in a magazine where he was talking about if the authorities or the powers that be looked at some of the horror writers' work, and they could probably build a case for like future. And then with what's going on with like all these things and these crazy things with shooters and everything,
Yeah.
if you just catch the wrong person that's got all these notes about just legitimately making a story.
Just our search history.
Yeah, it's like what'll be what'll come of that? It's crazy. But yeah, so the killers, yeah, but even the victims, do you get into their mind, like, because
Yeah.
they say each character is like each character has a piece of the author pretty much.
I think, yeah.
So it's like fears that they have and stuff like that you play off of.
Yeah.
What's your biggest fear, Renee? What are you scared of most?
I was going to ask that too.
Yeah.
Like serious fear? I don't know. Fire scares the shit out of me. Like if there's one way to die, like I would not want to die, it's in a fire.
Fire.
You'd rather be ice?
Yeah, because then you just like go to sleep, right?
That's true. Yeah, you
And
start
then
feeling
you
warm.
die. Like fire, you pretty much die in agony.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
They say the smoke inhalation will kill you first, but I don't know.
Horrible. Yeah, it's not
Really
nice.
survived it to let us know what it's like.
I'm quite claustrophobic, so I'd absolutely hate being buried alive or being in a situation where I'm restricted, in some way, and I'm just kept
Buried
alive.
would be really bad too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a movie about that.
I mean, I don't think so. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was in it, I think. There's a one called Buried Alive fairly recently, probably in the last 5 years or something.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Not saying the movie. I'm just saying like the way
It's
Yeah,
just-
yeah. But I don't know how these people can sort of, I don't know, suffocate themselves in cupboards and stuff like that and enjoy it. Because to me, it's just horrible. Just the thought of being restricted that way. Will's not saying anything.
No, you know what's like what is Gary thinking about? No, you know what's funny though? Me and Renee were actually talking about this before you got on.
Okay.
The claustrophobia does get me too, but picture this: you walk into a room, right? It's quiet. And this actually happened to me in a conference center that I was in. It's quiet. Then all of a sudden you get a hint of things, and maybe you make a noise and you hear like a little echo. But then the lights come on because you just turned them on, and it's a huge auditorium. That scares the crap out of me for some reason.
I told him he was a weirdo.
Yeah. Or like a huge, like if I was to turn on the light and I'd see a huge fan or a huge turbine or something, that would scare the shit out of me as well.
Yeah.
Just, I guess, the unknown.
You are an absolute weirdo. Well, no doubt, but but I could sort of empathise a little bit because when I was little, my mum said to me that I used to hate. There's a lot of construction going on around the village where I used to live, and I used to be really frightened of things like cranes, large scale machines, things that are far bigger than I was. So maybe it's something to do with that. It's some sort of size thing. I don't know.
Yeah, or sound. Maybe like sound, or just fear of it just turning on and then sucking you into it. I don't know. I mean, and then I was telling her also the scary logos. I don't know if.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that on the Deadman podcast.
Yeah, it's just those logos are just. When I was a kid, though, I mean, and it's a big community of them. If you look on YouTube and just type in scary logos, it's a huge community of people that have this fear. So I don't know if it's something, a conspiracy theory or what it is, but scary logos.
Have you come across any other sort of weird phobias or fears in your travels, Renee?
Me?
Yeah. Have your kids got
I
any
think there's a
weird
phobia
fears?
for
Or...
pretty much everything. I think there's someone out there that's afraid of like almost anything you can.
What is that called? That's called agoraphobia, or is that just the fear of going outside?
Yeah, I think that's like, yeah, that's got something to do with it. Like they're afraid of everything out there.
Yeah, Dean Koontz, he played a lot on that. I remember that's where I learned the word pretty much. Like he just used that. There was always that character that didn't want to go outside, and they had to take baby steps to you know.
I'm like that, but it's not because I'm afraid of what's out there. I just don't want to.
Yeah, like no, I know what you mean. Trust me, living in New York and then like working in Manhattan, I don't want to go outside either.
Yeah, and it's pretty peaceful here. I mean, there's like hardly anybody lives here, so. But.
Well, yeah. Once I get home, I'm pretty good. It's just going to the city. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in New York, or there has been for the past 20 odd or so years, and it's been
yeah.
Like,
since
a scary place. I suppose the world's a scary place now, isn't it? We've had attacks everywhere, and there's all sorts of weird and wonderful things happening.
Yeah, nothing happens here.
See, that's where I gotta I gotta move there because I told my wife I wouldn't mind living in like an old person community.
That's what we are, pretty much.
Yeah, see, I would love that. I just.
But it's country.
Yeah. Oh, that's even better.
Not really.
Oh, then again, when the houses are too far apart, I get that fear of what's out there in the woods. What's lurking behind those trees.
Our house.
Oh my God! It's a big turbine.
A what? A
big turbine.
Oh, I thought you said like a pterodactyl or something. I was like, freaking dinosaurs here. Yeah. So Renee, do you? So I know you have the day job and everything, and
yeah.
I guess the first part of the question is, how do you find time to write? Like, I know you had that 2 years off, but how do you find time to write new stuff or edit the stuff that you wrote during that time?
I'm usually up. We have a puppy. He's a year old now, so he's not really a puppy, but he doesn't sleep past 4. So I'm up at 4, usually.
Yeah.
5. So I get up early, and I usually do the bulk of it when everyone's sleeping. And then if I am not too tired once I'm at the end of the day, then I'll write afterwards. But that doesn't really happen very often.
Yeah. Do you utilize your phone in any way, like on the bus to work, or
there is no bus. No, work is literally across the road. There's like me, there's the seniors building, and then there's the grocery store.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah. So no, there's no phone writing. That would make me nuts. I like the fact that I can type really fast, and on my phone I'm completely useless.
Oh yeah, I've seen I type pretty fast on my phone, almost like. I wouldn't say as fast as the keyboard, but it's pretty fast. But I've seen like some people at my job. It's mostly like there was this one instance. There was a young girl, and she started typing, and she even had long nails. So I don't know how the hell she was doing it, but she typed so fast. I think I was just, oh my God, I just couldn't believe how fast. I guess chatting and stuff like that. It's like exercise for the, but yeah, it's. Okay, so do you think in your career you're anywhere near taking the place of your day job, like with your writing? Is it sustainable yet, or do you, or in the near future, or are you still just
No, just no. I'm gonna be working.
Do you plan on sending out any larger stories to like an agent? Or trying to get a big book deal, or do you like staying in the sort of quote unquote indie publishing?
I mean, I'm not going to say it wouldn't be nice to have a big fat contract, but
yeah.
I don't know. I did the agent query thing for so long.
Yeah.
So long, and I've had more success with just sending them out myself and doing and going with small presses and all that. So.
What do you mean? Hindered Souls is massive.
I know, right?
Right. I mean, I don't even know what Will's talking about there. What does he mean?
Hey, how'd you push this on me? I didn't say they were not massive.
Of course she's made it. Quote unquote indie.
Well,
Jesus, Will.
Since we're in that subject, I believe I caught I don't know if it was a blog post from you, Renee.
I saw that, the article about indie.
Yeah, so because it's different to everybody. But I mean,
it is.
I think I had an argument about this once with somebody, and it was along the lines of even the big places, if you really break it down, are independent because, I mean, even though they have a lot more people working for them, and they had to start out somewhere, they're still independent of themselves. Like, who's supporting them? Unless it's like another, like let's say HarperCollins brought out this one or something, So like, what is indie to you?
The indie to me, like, has always just been independent publishing, like you're self-publishing. That's always been how I defined indie. But I get that they consider like small presses, boutique presses, things like that, indie as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. My whole point of that blog post was like
that it's just getting too much, right?
It's just getting too much.
It is, yeah. No, you're right.
Define everything to death anymore. It just
and they have to like always compartmentalize and character, just but it's true though, because the way I see small presses like Hindered Souls or Unnerving, I see them as startups, you could say, because I mean, they can take the wrong road, I guess, and they can or they can really make it big, and if you ever look at like these startups, like from where I work, and you see these startups happen, and then somebody buys them out, So I guess it's sort of the same thing, because if you a lot of the big time publishers are being, there's like I think like 4 now, really huge ones, and then there's like subsidiaries and this and that, so they all bought each other out, and they all like but then when you get these new startups, they do something that's like, oh man, this guy, they got this unlock, or that woman has, that company doing this crazy new thing, and I want that. So they buy them out, and then they go and they start up something else. But I guess it's the same thing. Like, that's how like you said, independent is basically going to Amazon and uploading your own book.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I've always viewed it. So like, it just at first, when it first started, people calling the smaller presses like indie as well, I was like, oh, okay. So I totally don't know what anything means anymore.
Yeah, it's very confusing. They should just enjoy the work. Just enjoy the books.
Yes.
Yeah,
who cares where it comes from?
Yeah.
If it's good anyway. If it's crap, well.
Yes. And judging by the non-existence of birds in the background, I think Gary's not here anymore.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I was used to hearing the birds. I was like, okay, Gary's still there.
No, I don't know where the birds have gone, actually. I am in the back garden still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Oh, here's a question. If you ever got to the point where you were doing book signings and huge, things, would you want to, like, how do you feel about traveling? Like, I hate traveling, personally.
I hate it.
Yeah.
The idea of a book signing or going to a convention, and that's horrifying to me.
Yeah, the conventions. They said there's a couple of big ones in New York but then you always see, like, you get these people that are doing cosplay and all this stuff. I mean, I know Horror Writers Association, they have a booth that they usually open up that you can, I think you can put, down, you could represent and, the organization, and have people come by. You could sell a couple of your books, but I guess, I don't know, just the whole, I mean, that's something I don't like to do, and also I mean, if it's a book signing, I wouldn't mind going to local places or like maybe a couple of states that are surrounding New York. But I would definitely not want to go out to like far places across the country or in other countries, and I mean, if I was going there on vacation, I mean, you know, maybe like work your vacation around it or something. But
yeah, I don't
Have
like
you ever
it.
done a Have you ever done a public reading or anything like that, Renee? Have you ever gone to a place and read your work to people, or been to
No.
any? No,
Oh.
no.
No, I
Something.
guess that's probably what I'm most scared. I don't like that at all. I've gone to like
No.
read for other authors, and I don't know. I don't know how they do it.
No, I mean,
I would feel like
I did it. Sorry, go on.
I just feel like such an idiot up there. Like it. I don't like
No.
all eyes on me. No thanks.
No, I'm the same. I've been to see Joe Hill a couple of times, and he always does a bit of a reading and a bit of a Q&A, and he's really funny, and he's obviously got like a personality and stuff. And I'd just be scared of just getting up there and just looking like a complete idiot, you know?
the funny thing about it is, when you have like when you go up there and you're talking on stage, you know, the newer authors, the guys breaking in, or the guys and girls, everything breaking into right now, they're experiencing this new type of way of interacting with people, and it's kind of like the new thing. But back in the old days, the authors, everything was buried with, you know, snail mail and just typing out on paper and waiting for, you know, you send out a submission and you're waiting like weeks for it to come back, or you kind of, there was kind of like a barrier between, I guess, public speaking and being out there. Like, it wasn't as often. Now everything is so instant. I mean, you could do it on Skype and everything. I guess that would be the easier, you know, way of doing it. But still, it's just there's more expected of you these days.
Yeah. They better not expect me to do. That's not going to happen. This is as close as we get.
Has Manuel not contacted you about that yet? Hindered Souls, they always get you to do a reading. No, I'm joking.
I can tell you what the answer is going to be, so he doesn't have to.
Oh man, I went to an event a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember if I already told Will about it, but it was like a bit of a fair in the park, and they had like a bandstand, and they had these random people sort of getting up and doing like little skits and little, you know, some of them played music, some of them recited, and there was like a little readers group. I didn't even know there was a reading writing group near where I lived, but these people got up and they sort of read their little stories, and I just, you know, when you feel really, really bad for someone. And I stood there watching, thinking, "Oh my God, I would absolutely hate to be in your position."
Yeah, and I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, I don't want that. You know, people sort of giving me that look that I was giving them. You know, this sort
exactly. It's one thing when they like read your book and they do it in the privacy of their own home, but when you're like reading and you can see on their faces.
Yeah. Oh, it was terrible. They were like, there's sort of like these oldish sort of people. There's about 4 or 5 of them, and they'd obviously been set an assignment to write about, I think the subject was mental health. So they had to talk about, you know, they had these little stories, these little short, they must have been about, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 words long, maybe, you know, each one lasted about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. But yeah, they sort of got up and they sort of started reading, and like this fixed face, you know, when your face hurts from smiling because you're consciously smiling because you don't want to sort of.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was dying for them. The empathy was killing me, you know.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because unless you have a like unless your personality is like a character, you know, where you can add some joke or humor to it or just some charisma, but then you get some people that, and that's one thing I never like that never got me. You know, you're a writer. These days, you're expected to also advertise. Yeah, all these things, and you're like, when do I have time to do the writing? You know?
Yeah. It's like when you ask, well, you're not the only one who's asked, like, what's your brand? Like, how do you build your brand? I'm just like, my what?
Yeah.
I have to have one of those.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, you know, me and Gary, we're trying to, I guess, like you said, you have to build a brand. I read about it once, and I heard about it on the podcast where you have to start up the social media, even if you didn't start writing yet. You want to get that going so people can get to know you, and so that's the same reason why we're doing the YouTube, to try to get other writers out there, get ourselves out there, explain a few things as we're going. I mean, obviously at one point it's probably going to come to a point where we're not going to, I mean, we're always going to give advice, or you're going to see as, we move up, and as our fellow writers move up that we interview and stuff, like yourself and whoever else we have on. But then it's going to come to a point where I guess you just can't really do that all the time. Like, it's cool to see it happen, and it's cool to help, and you're always going to help. Like, unless you're, I mean, I don't. There's no other word for it. Unless you're an asshole, you're always going to help someone else or give pointers or tips about how to do it. Some people will hold back.
Do you mean balloon knot? Sorry. There's my brand.
It's not going to be a thing, Gary. Stop.
I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying.
Oh my god.
Gary Bullers.
Oh, I dread to think what people think my brand is. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. But
well,
yeah,
your opinion on social media, Renee? How do you use it?
Yeah, which ones work better for you?
What's your thoughts on Twitter? Yeah.
I don't know which ones work. I don't know that any of them work at all, to be honest, sometimes.
I'm gonna tell you something. What I found real fast: Instagram. Once I figured out how to do it, and there's actually a manual that showed me about the hashtags and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You get a lot of people that see that stuff.
Yeah, I'm still figuring out Instagram, so maybe.
Do you not have to take pictures on Instagram? Isn't Instagram one of these where you put photos up and stuff?
You can just post whatever, like your book covers, and
yeah,
they do like you to take pictures.
Yeah, or like original pictures. Yeah. Like I do for each blog post, I make this little like collage of images and stuff, and make it like a poster. And I usually put those on, so I have an excuse to put a picture up.
See, I haven't used it like that yet, so maybe I should start doing that. I just post pictures of my dogs and.
No, those are good too. I mean, it makes you more personal. It makes it a more personal account.
Yeah, when I remembered, I hardly used it at all.
I didn't use it either, and that's like, but Facebook, because I use the pages, and the pages is terrible. I get like 5 views on that.
Yeah, everything gets lost on Facebook.
Yeah, but Instagram is one, like, as soon as I put something up, I'll have like, and just constant people following, people liking. Twitter is pretty good too, because it's like the question, like you're interacting with, with other people. You're asking them what they think and what they feel. So then you get those outsiders that are just starting. They're like seeing what all these other authors think about certain subjects. It's all just interacting and talking. But Twitter is mostly like, I feel it's mostly peers. You'll get some followers and stuff that are just really, I guess, readers that just want to know about what you're doing. But a lot of it, like a lot of the people I add, and I usually try to screen it as best I could, because you see somebody with 42,000 followers and 2,000 people they're following, you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, this guy just follows and unfollows like an asshole.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Crowdfire is the best for that. I use this thing called Crowdfire, and it shows you who removed you. Sometimes you can see them in the process of doing the scam, where they have 0 followers, and then they'll all of a sudden, or people they're following rather, and then all of a sudden they'll refollow you because maybe you're not in the section that they wanted to delete yet. And those people, I get rid of them like real fast, because it has an option to, but sometimes, and then you get the entrepreneurs and all that crap, and you're like, oh my gosh.
I just get in the mood now and then, and I go look through my list and see, and I'm like, and start unfollowing them. Yeah, if they're
an authentic writer or someone creative, anything creative, I'll just I'll add them. But if they have like thousands and thousands, if they have more followers than Stephen King and you've never heard of them, there's something going on,
I think, have you been more prominent on Twitter lately, Renee? I don't. When you were in the Deadlights magazine, you didn't seem to be on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm figuring it out more.
Yeah. So it's a
Before I was
conscious
just
thing.
trying to, just used it because that's what I was told to do. I never really took the time to figure out how it would work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard because each one has different things. Like Instagram has the hashtags, that other ones have like the 1+. Like when I submit, I put Google Plus, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah.
and I do it all by hand. I know there's apps out there that can do it for you, but then each one is going to have like the hashtags for this one and that one, and
Yeah, I started using Buffer as like just kind of an experiment, and it's an app that does that for you. But you can tailor each post to each place. So they post all at once, but you can have the hashtags where they need to be, and
oh, okay, that's cool.
posts can be different. And you just schedule them. It's actually pretty handy. I'm just using the free one because I'm cheap. But
And what was the name of that?
Buffer.
You said Fluffer?
Buffer. Fluffer. I don't think that's the book.
Oh, how do you wait? How do you spell? No, Gary, Jesus, how do you spell it?
Buffer.
Oh, Puffer. Okay,
Yeah.
there's one I used called it was with an owl. Hootsuite, I think it was called.
Yeah, wasn't that for?
I think it allows you like 3 accounts that you can post to it simultaneously, but then you had to pay.
Yeah, see, this one has a paid and a free option. And with the free option, you can only schedule up to 10 at a time, and then you have to wait till the buffer is empty to schedule more.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I guess you really don't need more than that.
It's 10 for every social media account. So you got 10 for Google, 10 for Twitter, 10 for Facebook.
Oh, per week.
Per week.
Oh,
or no, just till it can be per day if you want to schedule them every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's not too bad. I mean, I guess if you're a place like a publisher or a quote unquote indie publisher, you'd want to get that out more. You'd want to probably pay for the
premium service. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works for me because then on my days off, I can kind of try to schedule everything out through the week so that at least something's going up each day.
Yeah.
When I'm too lazy to do it.
And isn't that so weird about Twitter? Like so to be relevant, you have to actually post things, even if it's just the dumbest things. Like I've seen people posting news articles that have nothing to do with what they do, And I'm saying to myself, and now that you talk about this, it's probably one of these programs that just post out anything. I mean,
yeah.
Is that like a Gary?
Hello?
What the hell was that?
What's what?
It's like
I think it's some sort of bird.
Is
Chico
okay?
Sounds angry.
Yeah. No Chico's here as well. No, I think it's I don't know what it is.
You got to be careful with the small dogs. They could be.
Yeah, it's.
I got a small dog too, and oh my god.
Yours is called Zoomy, isn't it?
Zoomy, yeah, it's one of those little teacups, but it's like literally a teacup. And I don't know, man. It's just it chases the cat, and I'm saying to myself, damn, like the cat's double its size. Like just swat it away or something.
Little dogs aren't afraid of anything.
Yeah, it acts like it's a big dog, and
I got 2 big dogs, and they're afraid of like everything.
What dogs you got?
I have a black lab.
Nice.
And a border collie Australian Shepherd cross.
Nice.
And they're both pretty neurotic. The lab's afraid of grass, and he thinks sticks are snakes. So if you like throw a stick down at his feet, he'll like freak out for a second.
Oh no. Do you have cats?
Yep. 2 cats. We're nuts.
No, we have a dog and a cat. We used to have birds and everything, but
we had parrots.
Yeah, the parrots. We had this one called. They have an orange one and a black one. The head, it's called. The one that we had was a black-headed Kayik. I hope I'm saying it right.
Ferret with an F.
What was the name?
We had ferret, little rodent.
Oh God, I hate those. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't. Those are the only things, and I don't hate animals.
They're like, I don't know. They're kind of like cats. They're very playful, but they're a lot of work. Like,
Yeah,
they
they're
stink
messy
so
and
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I had to
My
change their little litter every single day, or else the whole house just smelled like shit. It was terrible.
Yeah, my uncle used to keep ferrets, but yeah, he had like a large shed out in the garden where he used to keep them.
Yeah, that'd be about the only place you could keep them.
Yeah, and they were nice and all, but one of them was really nasty, and it used to bite.
Yeah, they do
Yeah,
bite.
female,
Yeah, I've seen them.
the female we had was really mean, and the male was all right.
Yeah,
Female was vicious.
Ferrets.
Yeah,
who knew? Who
yeah.
knew? I used to.
I don't recommend them.
No, me neither.
No. I used to have a frilled dragon once.
Oh,
Talking of unusual pets, and she used to sit on my shoulder like a parrot. Yeah, every time the cat came along, she'd sort of spread her frills and spit at it and whip her tail at it.
Wow. Now, did she actually spit something out, or like?
No, just sort of hiss, and the frill had come up, and yeah, no, she just didn't like the cat for some reason. She was normally quite placid, and the only time you ever saw her frill was when the cat was around. But we had to get rid of her because the spare room was where we used to keep her in like quite a large tank, and because she was a big animal, she was about 3.5, 4 feet long, with the tail. So we had to when we found out we were pregnant with the first daughter, like we had to get rid of her to make the room into a spare bedroom. So
Yeah.
you couldn't share?
no, not my decision. Yeah, I'd have kept her, but no, unfortunately. Yeah.
Aren't those poisonous? Like if they bite you, or am I thinking of something else?
No, they have got. They're not poisonous, but they've got an anticoagulant and the saliva a little bit. So if they bite you, it can get infected quite easily.
Ah.
So, yeah, and
Pet like that?
say again, sorry.
Why would you want a pet like that?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I don't understand.
I don't know, but she was friendly. She never bit me ever. In the whole, like, I had her for about 5 years or something. But no, she was friendly as anything. Lovely, just like ferrets.
Oh man, I'd probably rather have a ferret. And I don't like ferrets. No, I was in the Petco the other day. It's like a pet place in America. I don't know. They probably have it in other locations also, but we were looking at the fish, and then this guy behind, like, we're looking at the fish that look like Nemo and Dory and all these things, Disney characters, and the guy behind is laughing, like, and he seems friendly enough, but then so I'm thinking he had fish, and it's harmless, but then I turn around and he has this bag that's this puffed up bag, and it's got the crickets in it, so I'm like, he's probably got like a snake or like a dragon or something, like, oh man.
My kids have wanted pets like that, and I'm like, I'm the one that's got to feed them. We all know who's going to feed the damn animals, and I'm not feeding anyone crickets or dead mice, or I'm not doing it.
Those things get big too, like the snakes. I've seen some, and then they get rid of them. They just release them and get these huge snakes in the sewer.
We have a lot of snakes out back. If they want a snake for a pet, they can go outside.
Oh gosh.
Play with those.
You have any dangerous?
We never get snakes.
No,
this
one.
Interesting in England.
Wait, Gary, you were breaking up a bit. Say that
So what
again.
snakes do you get over there? I said, what snakes do you get over there in Canada?
Where I am, mostly
Yes.
garter snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I know there's other snakes around here, but I don't. A snake is a snake to me. I just know they're not poisonous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually they don't want to bother you. They just, unless you really go after them or.
Yeah, they usually just slither away.
You should write about snakes. You should do
I don't think I could. I don't
a
like.
story about snakes in your garden. No?
I probably could. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you could.
I think I did actually once, but that's not something that is appropriate for a general audience.
Something PETA might not like too much.
No, no.
It's like, well, that snake went where?
Yeah.
Oh,
She's like, yeah.
That's it.
I noticed a part in the book where the serial killer doesn't like he's a serial killer, right?
Yep.
yep.
And he doesn't like what some woman did to a dog. And I'm saying, Jesus, that's what got me, like the Dean Koontz type thing, where it's like you got this character who's obviously he's deranged, he's sick, but she went too far with the dog,
Yeah, he's got a line that he doesn't cross. Nice to animals.
PETA approved. Do you guys have PETA out there?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
I think so.
I think PETA's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, I know they go across, they go into the other territories and stuff, but...
We have the Irish PCA over here.
Did you say the Irish PCA?
Yes, that's the RSPCA.
Oh, so wait, so what does that stand for?
The Royal Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
Oh,
we have something like that here.
Yeah, ours is called the ASPCA.
Yes.
Wait, I don't
Is
know.
that the American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, is it?
Animals from American Society. Yeah, the same thing. American. So yours is just like the Royal Society. Oh,
Yes.
That's weird.
Hmm. That's what comes with living in a kingdom.
Yes.
One of the Commonwealth, as Renee is. Renee's part. Are you still part of the Commonwealth in Canada?
Yep.
You are, aren't you? Yep.
I think so.
Yep.
Your queen's still on our money.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No. No, not at all. That's interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's dollars, not pounds. How strange.
Yeah, dollars.
So Renee, yours goes by dollars.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Canadian dollars though, so they're not worth as much as other money.
So now.
Yeah, I got paid in Canadian dollars once for a story that I sold, and I remember thinking, "Oh, that's quite good." And then when I got paid, and it was transferred into pounds, I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
I like when it's made American or something else because then it's like way more.
So now the area you live in. It has the English Queen on it, or right, the English Queen. But it's still considered a Canadian currency.
Yes.
Now, other currencies outside of your Commonwealth, do they have the Queen on them, or no? They're something totally different.
Like, there's only like one kind of currency in Canada, and it's all. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So that one currency that has the Queen on it.
Yeah. Well, our $20 bill has the Queen on it.
Oh, wow.
And then there's other people on other bills, prime ministers. And...
That's so weird. There's a place in Washington I know that's like, I think it's is it called the District of Columbia? I don't know. But it's like they're exempt from taxes, they're exempt from other things, and I'm not sure who. I was reading about it the other day, and it just totally slipped my mind. But it's just so interesting to know, how many areas and organizations still have their control over other parts, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to be a big deal, but we're not anymore.
Yeah, I don't think the Queen has much say in what goes on here anymore.
No.
Just like a figurehead kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for tourism over here, I suppose. We get a lot of tourists off the back of the royal family.
And I could say I really like watching, like around the holidays, the Hallmark Channel. They got like these queens and princess stories about,
Yeah.
it's nice.
What I often think, Will, what your view of the English must be. It must be some really warped shit. It must be terrible.
Well, let me ask you a question, Gary.
Yes. Go on.
Have you ever heard about, and this is bringing it back to horror, I guess you could say. Have you ever heard about them, like, the royal family being cannibals? Like, do they eat people? Because I know they said that they found bones on the royal grounds.
Really?
You ever heard about that?
No, I've not.
I've never heard about that.
No. How strange.
Yeah.
But until I started talking to you and stuff, Will, you used to think I lived on something out of a Charles Dickens novel. You used to think I used to work cleaning chimneys and down at the mill and stuff like that, didn't you? Walked around barefoot on the street, the cobbled street,
the cobblestone street, with the lanterns on the walls.
Yeah. That is Manchester. That's where I live.
See, that's so. Is it like the Harry Potter movies? Is it like that?
It's just like Harry Potter. I drive in a flying car.
You got your magic wand.
I've got my magic wand. Go to Hogwarts. Yeah.
I think Twitter is like Hogwarts.
It is. It is like Hogwarts. But I keep saying I've always fancied going over to Canada because I've got distant family sort of lived there and grew up there, and some of them are buried over there. So it's a place I've always fancied visiting. Whereabouts in Canada are you from, Renee?
Ontario. I'm in southern Ontario.
Right. Okay. Cool. My geography is pretty terrible. Is that anywhere near?
Go ahead.
Is it anywhere near? Is it on the east coast or near the east coast?
No, we're not near the east coast. Well,
right.
I guess we're closer than 3 other provinces.
Right. Fair enough. So my
I'm
family.
No.
It's pretty big, actually. It's
Ontario.
Yeah, it's above Minneapolis, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Yeah.
It's part of it's above New York.
Yeah. From here, we could drive to New York easily in a day.
Yeah. So my family were from Niagara on my dad's side originally. So yeah, I've got my great granddad, his brothers are all sort of buried there, and I'm assuming I've still got family over there, just sort of distant family. I've been on the ancestry thing, looking at going back over the years and stuff. It's really interesting.
Did you do the ancestry thing? Or did you get the DNA test?
Oh, I didn't do the DNA test. I just did the historical checks. Just going through birth certificates and war records and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or my neighbour did anyway, and he's into that sort of thing, and but it's really interesting, But most of it goes back mostly in England. Even the ones that lived over in Canada were English.
Yeah.
But they just sort of moved over there. But yeah, small island.
Yeah, I did it actually. I found out I was 27% English. I'm like you, Gary.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, Doesn't surprise you, are you? Just like me. Let's all hold hands and sing.
But because I'm from New York, I'm just a bit harder.
Oh God, that was a terrible accent. That.
It's sorry, that's a personal joke between me and Gary. So I was trying to figure out how I can say harder in
Harder. All right there.
Wait, let me try.
All right there, Will.
Harder. Like that.
Harder. Go on, Will. Say harder.
Is there like a W in it? Well, there's other parts of England though that have that kind of dialect, right?
Yeah, that accent is like London. The Americans know 2 English accents, right? And they're Liverpudlian accents because of the Beatles. So anything, so that's and the London accent, and those are the 2 accents that Americans seem to do when they do an accent. But I don't think my accent's like that at all. Mine's more of a Northern English accent, I suppose. I don't know.
And then like the Cockney is more like slang. Like
Look,
it's
yeah, Cockney's like London, and you get like the slang language, just like I suppose it's just like street speak, isn't it? It's substituting one thing for another, like apples and pears up the stairs.
like sometimes I'll hear when it like I guess what they refer to as Cockney, but like you'll hear some of them really angry, like why don't you eat it? Why don't you? But they're like mad. They're mad, And I'm like, why are they so mad?
Yeah. Oh my God, Will, harder. Do it harder. My balloon nuts right, so Will.
Oh my God.
My balloon nuts right, so Will.
Well, I mean, it's okay. It's over an hour, so it's pretty.
Is that your way of shutting me up?
We're pretty safe right now. This is the after hour.
Sorry, Renee.
Jesus. Oh my God. Renee.
Yeah.
Do you have anything in the works?
In the works?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm working on edits for Stranded. That's another one coming out with Unnerving in November.
Mm.
Is that a novella or a novel?
Yeah, it's novella.
Cool.
A little bit of a longer novella. It's a little over 30,000 words. So.
Wow.
And it'll be bundled in a paperback or I'm not sure. A paperback, I believe, with like Cream and Church.
Nice. Nice.
Will you be submitting to the Cemetery Dance?
I did submit something to them.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's like not often that they open the doors like that.
Yeah, I know. So at first I was like, oh, I don't have anything, but I cobbled something together, and hopefully.
It's like winning the lottery or something. Getting into that, everyone's going to do it because, like you said, they only open once in a blue moon. But
yeah, it's just going to be bogged right down with.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are the chances? I mean, they're going to be professional authors. There's going to be, some very seasoned writers putting some really high quality stuff out there.
Yeah, but if you don't take the shot,
so it's like, what are the chances? But
all.
I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, it's a 4-month wait, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like when I submitted Dark View, that was the idea. I was like, it's not likely, and
yeah,
I was shocked when they actually took the story. So.
Oh, you got into Dark Views?
Yeah, I had a few stories. I had a lot of stories orphaned when they closed.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I remember Dark Views. Wow,
that's an achievement. Because they were really good.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, you had the upcoming publication with Unnerving. You're working on any short stories? Are there any sort of smaller tales coming out? With magazines and stuff.
Yeah, Books and Booze Press has a dark comedy anthology called Sharp Stick in the Eye.
Mm-hmm.
I have a story in that one coming August. It's a little twist on Death is the main character.
Oh, cool.
Death wants to retire, and then hilarity ensues. And then, oh shoot, there's another one that I can't. That's terrible, isn't it?
No, I mean, I'm just blaming it on the heat today. I mean, everything that I can't remember is like the heat.
Yeah, today's just a giant brain fart for me. Yeah, so I'm gonna say that's it for now. I have a list somewhere, but I don't have it here with me.
Yeah, I keep a spreadsheet, but it's been a really quiet year this year for me. I've been just sort of aiming quite high with my submissions, so.
Yeah, my submissions went way down this year. I usually spend a lot of time looking at each submission call because I don't want to be that person who sends them something that's totally they're like, done this for.
Yeah.
So probably after the end of this year, it's not going to be quite as busy for me.
So nothing in the works that you're excited about, that you're thinking about that you
Oh,
want
I finished one. Um, right now it's called Cluster. We'll see if it changes. Which is, it started like, I get migraine headaches, like sometimes really bad migraine headaches. So I thought, what if, there was something, uh, the cause of the headaches was something a little more sinister than
Yeah,
just,
yeah. That's
because no one knows the cause. Like when you go into the hospital, say, because you have a really bad, like you feel like you're having a stroke, they don't know why you're having them. They just drug you up and send you home.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I got a really bad migraine. I think yesterday actually, where you get that little squiggly thing,
Yeah.
and it just keeps building and it's like a little dot, and then it gets bigger and bigger,
Big,
and you're like,
bigger
oh
and
my
bigger.
god.
Yeah. My speech will get slurred, and then I get numbness on one side, and oh, it's awful.
Oh
And then if it goes
gosh.
long enough, you want to hurl. It's ugh.
Yeah, yeah. You get that. Yeah, that's oh my. Just thinking about it makes me feel like
I
oh.
know. So writing about it, like some of the scenes are like the characters experiencing it, right? So I had to take a break a few times because it's almost suggestive sometimes.
Yeah. It's sort of, you know what it feels. I could liken that to when I was watching Breaking Bad, and I don't know if you ever watched that.
Yeah.
So remember when Walter was, he was going through the whole cancer thing,
Yeah.
and that just, it's sort of, I was telling, because my buddy had recommended it to me, and I love the writer, Gilliam. I love Better Call Saul. I love everything. It's just the little tiny things that he puts in there that come out and sprout later on. It's just insane. But
Yeah.
watching the cancer part, it just got me so down. I was like, fuck, man. I just wanted that to pass, you know?
Yeah, I was the same. I just wanted that part to be okay. We get it. Get it, like.
Yeah, like there was one part where he pissed into the toilet and it was like dark yellow.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is something that probably happens, and they did their research, but then I wanted it to pass because it was just so depressing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and hopefully I don't do that too much in this book with the. Hopefully people can read it without getting a migraine, and then.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's good because I mean, look at if it's handled in the way, I guess, sort of like what's that movie? The Marvel character, oh, Deadpool.
Yeah.
Where he had that, and then once that happened, when he passed out, and then they found out it was cancer, it was like, what the fuck? And then I was watching it, and then but then he turned it into something else. But then it's sort of like fantasy in a way, because then like you're fantasizing, well, you get this disease and something good can happen.
Yeah, and that's with this story. That's what I mean. In the end, well, good depends on your point of view.
Yeah.
Really, but yeah, it turns into something else, and it's depending on how you see it, you might see it as a good thing, but.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to read that.
Well,
no, you're not.
Hopefully, you might get to read it.
Yeah. No. I mean, oh, you haven't pushed it out yet. You mean it's like you're still in the works of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just did another edit of it, and it's. I don't hate it anymore, so we're getting closer.
Great.
Oh, you know what? Here's a good question for you. Do you have a set of rules or things that you do when you go through a story, or do you just pretty much get it all out first and then go back with the editing? Or like when you do the editing process, are there any set of rules that you usually go through to make sure a certain amount of setting is there, a certain amount of dialogue is there, or do you just pretty much wing it and you just kind of eyeball it?
Yeah, I do it, but I think a lot of it is like just subconsciously now because I've edited so many times that I don't need to do like the step by step thing anymore.
Yeah.
I will, if something is like I'm not really comfortable with the level of editing. I think it could be better. I'll go through it backwards.
Oh, okay.
Then you catch everything because when you read it like front to like start to finish, your brain fills in things automatically, so you don't see everything. I find when I go backwards, and I mean it's tedious, I hate it, but when you go through and you read it backwards from the last page to the first, everything, like weird phrasing, typos, and all that, most of them they'll stand out more.
Someone told me.
When you say read it back,
Yeah.
when you say read it backwards, you mean like the paragraphs in chronological order, but you read the back page first and then you read the page before that, or
I'll start
do
at
you
the last
literally mean
line, so I'll read the last sentence, the sentence before that. So that way you're just reading
okay.
each sentence. It's not really looking for any plot inconsistencies or character stuff. You're just looking for like technical errors that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone had told me to write it longhand, like rewrite the whole thing longhand, as slow as possible.
Yeah.
And that catches.
But mind you, I had a lot less editing when I used to write it longhand first and then transfer it to the computer, because you see things. But I don't think I could, after having it all typed, I don't think I could write it longhand after that.
Yeah, and then you got to retype that longhand. It's just, it gets...
Yeah.
Especially with, I mean, if this is all we were doing, but with the day job and everything, it's...
Yeah, I don't have the patience for longhand. I see writers who post, that they carry their little notebooks around and they've written all of this in longhand, and I'm just like, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, no, I do it a little bit. I'll sometimes start a story longhand and then I just think, nah,
yeah,
fuck
well,
this.
I'll do that. Yeah, I have
a
notebook where I have like starts of stories, because I'm not like, I don't have a laptop or whatever, or I just need to like get away from the temptation of internet. But I immediately, the second I can type it out, I go and I start it on my computer.
No, you're right about the temptation of internet. I sit down and I'll open up a YouTube video and I'm like, oh, let me catch up on this one. Let me catch up.
6 hours later, yeah. Oh wait, that's just me. I open up Netflix. I'm done. That's it. I'm not doing anything else for the rest of the day.
I'm terrible for picking up my phone and checking my phone when I'm writing sometimes. You know, I'll feel it vibrate and I'll be like, it's usually just Will sending me, I don't know.
Inappropriate pictures. Or...
Pictures of himself. Yeah. No, like, and then I just get pulled onto the Twitter thing, and then that's me done for like an hour.
Yeah, I get distracted really, really easy.
Yeah, me too. But you've been really prolific. I can't believe how much stuff you got out there. It's fantastic.
I type super fast, so.
Yeah, you must be a pretty quick editor as well to sort of polish stuff up like that.
Yeah, well, when I do some editing when I write too. So, like if I finished a chapter, a lot of times just to kind of get my thoughts in order, I'll go back through the chapter and read it before I go to the next one.
Yeah.
So that gets a lot of stuff doing it that way too. But then
I found with the short stories, I've not actually started any sort of novellas. I'm literally just sticking with the short stories at the moment. But I found that some of the best short stories I do when I write them in pairs. So I'll start one short story, I'll start it handwritten, but then move on to the computer, and then start another one. And when I'm editing one, I'll be sort of being creative with the other. And if I can't be fussed being creative, I can just edit, the first one. So I think the pairs method sort of seems to work quite well for me.
Yeah, I started with novels, ironically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, me too. I that's the first things I wrote. I wrote short stories because everyone's like, oh, short stories. But I was writing back when it was snail mail and not, internet.
You want to make it count, right? You don't want to be sending like 2 pages.
Yeah. I have a submission rejection from Weird Tales, but like the original.
That's cool.
Yeah, like from way, way, way back. Yeah.
Yeah, and soon we'll have a rejection from Cemetery Dance to go with it.
Yes.
We'll have one.
Oh my god.
We'll have to start a club.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like.
Oh hey, so Renee, are you
Losers
part of,
Club?
Yeah. Sorry.
You part of Horror Writers Association or
Yes, now I am. I resist.
You resisted for a while.
Yeah, well, I just didn't understand what, I'm still not entirely clear of what it offers that not having it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I applied, and yeah.
Well, Gary actually took big benefit from what was that you did to Gary with the
It was the what do you call it? A mentor scheme that they did. So my mentor was, well, he still is technically, Hank Schwabel. He's one of Bram Stoker. But this year he's been he's had problems. His wife's not been very well, so I've not spoken to him at all this year, which is a bit of a shame. But last year he helped me a lot with some of my writing, set me exercises, and that was worth the price of the membership alone, I thought. I think there's lots of stuff there you've just got to know.
Yeah, I'm still kind of exploring it. And...
Yeah, it's you've just got to, and I think it's very American centric. It's very, if you live in Los Angeles, I think that's where it's sort of mostly based. You're onto a winner, you'll get like loads of tons of benefits, but other than sort of just having it to your sort of CV and the mentor scheme.
I'm used to Canada not getting any benefits from any.
Yeah, we get even less. We've got like a Horror Writers Association UK chapter, and they'll do like 2 events a year, and they're always in like a little pub somewhere, usually miles away from where I live. And it's something or nothing really. It's hardly worth me going sometimes. But that and the mentor scheme are the only 2 things I can think of that are worth doing it for. So, but we'll see.
You know what's funny though? You say it's mostly based in Los Angeles, but I thought it was like mostly New York.
No, Alessandro Martinez is always doing HWA stuff. I think John Polisano is based over that side of the country as well.
And he's the vice president, but the president is based in, she's in New York, Lisa Morton.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but I noticed they do a lot of stuff in New York too. Like mostly stuff in Midtown. They have like meetups, and then they do the I think the Javits convention. They do they do those.
You need to get involved then, Will.
I know I should. It's just that my job when I get out of work, that's the meeting has already been like an hour going.
I'm hearing excuses here, Will. I'm just hearing excuses.
Go to work earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to make it or not? Do you want to be successful like Renee? Do it.
Oh my God.
How are we measuring success?
No,
I'm tweet famous, so that's something.
I see you as a tear up from us at least.
Gary.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to tell him. You weren't supposed to say it out loud.
No, so, like reading the book and it's definitely. I felt it. Like usually, when you're reading something, it's sometimes it's a chore, sometimes it's not, sometimes it just flows well, but you like it. This reminded me, like literally, of like a Dean Koontz novel, and I love Dean Koontz, so I was just the character, like not the writing is definitely like Dean Koontz goes into a lot of little details. Mm-hmm. So this is like Dean Koontz without all the little tedious details, but.
I don't have the attention span for the tedious details. To be honest.
Yeah, these days you want to go fast. Like I noticed even Stephen King, he's slowed down on the 50-page setting explosion. It's just like he gets into the action.
I've got a review of The Outsider coming up on Aphotic Realm. Obviously Stephen King. I don't know. I suppose I should just leave it at that, and you can find out what I think in the review. But yeah, I've got my own opinions on Stephen King. And don't get me wrong, I do like the guy.
Yeah.
It's just. Well, you'll see in the review anyway. It's coming out next week.
So that's the thing with Stephen King. Like you can have his scenes, and you feel like you're there with the characters. You feel like you're seeing through their head and everything. But sometimes, I guess the ending may not just end exactly the way you think it should, but I guess
anytime I don't like a book, something I've read, which is it's not often by Stephen King, it's usually the ending I have the big issue with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the actual reading. Like I'm great all the way through, and then I get to the end, and it's like, what the?
Yeah. Have you read The Outsider, Renee?
No, not yet.
I won't sort of go into it, but me and my friend were both listening to it on an audiobook on Audible, and he texted me and said, "What do you think?" At the end of the first day of listening to it, and I sort of said, "Wow, I'm really enjoying it. It's like probably the best novel I've read of his since. Well, my personal favourite is 11/22/63.
Yeah.
I really, really like that, and it's probably the best one I've read since then. But my opinion of it slightly changed as I got through it. It was the opening of it is very, very strong. But anyway, you'll see what I think. It is a spoiler. It is a spoiler for your review as well. So
when does that come out?
I think Dustin's putting it up on the Aphotic Realm website next week.
Oh, okay.
So this week coming, I suppose.
Oh,
between Monday and Friday. Yeah, this coming week. I mean.
Speaking of that, I mean, I'll see that because I have Gary automatically on my Twitter thing. But Renee, like, if you have any blog posts or anything, copy me on them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll push it out too. It's I'm not one that gets. There was two people, I think, because I push out. I usually try to get new people, so people who just followed me, I'll put them on, and I'll have a certain group of people that I'll keep like rotating, so it's not too much. But there was these two girls. I guess they didn't know to mute. You can mute the conversation.
I saw that.
Yeah. And that's the only two I ever got like a complaint from. Actually, you know what? I got a complaint from someone else. Should I shout? Yeah, I'm gonna shout her out. Gary, what's? I totally forgot her name.
The English girl.
Yeah.
Oh, Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline Swan. But it wasn't like a nasty thing or anything. But I guess she had too many notifications. Yeah, but sometimes people love that because it gets your if you're speaking like technically from a technical Twitter standpoint, you get your impressions up, and supposedly that's a good thing.
And you can still get the notifications without your phone or whatever going crazy. You just mute the conversation.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I've done that sometimes. Like there's some of them that have gone crazy. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, my battery like has so much life on it.
Yeah. And it's good to be a part of it. You just don't want to get the constant buzzing, It's
I want to go look at it when I've got time to read them all. Yeah. Yeah, but getting upset about it or, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to go now. I've got the look.
Yeah, I've got to do the... I might do the rest of the lawn, but I got to cook some spaghetti.
Oh, every Sunday. He loves it.
Well, I'm 37% Italian, so...
Oh, there you go. But thanks for joining us, Renee. We really appreciate you coming on. And as I say, I'll be reading a lot of your stuff because I got the Unnerving bundle. So, and I always buy the Hindered. Yeah, I was a lucky guy, so I got all that going through, and I always support Hindered Souls as well because I've been published by them myself. So, I'll be all over the audiobook for Eat the Rich for sure. Everyone, please check that out. It will be on Audible, no doubt.
Yes, and think of Aerosmith when you read it.
Yes.
And kill everyone. What does it say on the back? Kill everyone?
Kill everyone.
Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let me ask you a quick question before Gary gets killed. Is it sort of like, does it have a feel of, what's that one that's out the new one that's out every Halloween now?
The Purge.
The Purge, yeah. Is it like a Purge type thing?
Yes and no. Like the chaos of the aliens in charge is kind of like that.
Oh.
But
so there's aliens.
Like it's not like everybody running around eating people. It's the alien homeless people eating people.
Nice.
Is that's a terrible?
No. I kind of get it. Like there's a few things that I'm thinking about that it. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, so we have we have got through this without any heat burning wires or bringing down anything, and except for my mind. And next week, we're going to have, hopefully, Amy Grech on. I think I said that correct. Amy Grech. And we'll be talking about things. And it's been a wonderful time with you, Renee.
Thanks.
Yeah. And you can come on anytime if you want to promote anything. You want to pop in, just say hello. You could just, do that. And we've had a great time here.
Yeah. Next time you come on, we might actually be professional, and
I think this is one of the most professional.
I don't think professional.
Yeah, thanks very much, Renee. I'm gonna go now, guys. I'll see you on the other side.
See you all later. See you later.
Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care.